Hey, all right. Says we are live streaming. Good. So I want to talk today a little bit about freedom. Freedom is such an important and beautiful topic, and so controversial. Like freedom is our ability to choose, our agency. And sometimes, in fact, I would say probably most of the time, we get maybe confused or twisted around the idea that and I don't have freedom unless I can do any and everything I want at the moment I want it, in the amount that I want it, at any moment. That isn't freedom, that's anarchy and chaos. Because undoubtedly, as we see repeatedly in the world, people's wants conflict. There is, and so that's why we have laws and rules and things like that. And some of the laws and rules are oppressive to some people and not strong enough for other people. And that's another subject. I want to talk about a place where we do have absolute and complete freedom, agency, right to choose. And that is this. We have at any moment the right to choose our thinking. We have the right to choose our behavior. We have the right to choose how we look at things. I can choose to be angry or not. I can choose to be angry for a second and then change. I can choose to look at, so this picture looks like someone walking in the desert. And I can't really tell if that's a man or a woman. It's done by the old AI Dolly 2 engine, and so the facial features are a little confusing for me. And it doesn't matter. Someone's walking in a journey in the desert. They can choose to see that as a burden. Why is it so hot? They can choose to see it as an adventure. I was teaching a class yesterday on stories, and we were talking about the fact that stories are all we really have, and someone in the class aptly noted that everything we say is a story. And as evidence to start with, he talked about how funny but obvious it is when 10 people see the same event, the same car accident or the same sporting event, or even hear the same conversation, they would report it. They have experienced it differently. Well, since we know that happens all the time, the idea that we create our life by how we interpret everything is a true thing, and that's true only always. Like every day, every circumstance. And we can look at that and say, so what? It doesn't really amount to anything, because if I can't control the weather or create a money tree that solves all my money problems, then I don't really have freedom, and the rest of it's just some academic nonsense. And I guess I want to share with you that that's not true. There's a saying, as a person thinks, as a man thinketh, so is he, I think is how the original quote was. But it just means as we think, then that's how we are. That's who we are. That's how we walk through the world. A glass half full, glass half empty. And there's, ongoing debate about, is that realistic? And people call themselves realists, which just is a soft name for people with a negative outlook, because they then discount amazing, miraculous, and wonderful possibilities because they don't believe they can create that. And you know what? That becomes automatically and immediately a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, in that same sense, you and I, we have the opportunity to create our lives one moment at a time, one word at a time, our internal dialogue, our self-love, all of those things create the experience we have in life. And you may already know this and be a master of these truths. I don't know. But you know what? my experience is even people, in fact, most people that I talk to who are coaches, who work in the personal development world, who are perhaps masters of their own development or becoming that, don't truly believe this. And the reason, even though they say they do, and here's how I know, because when I listen and hear how they talk about themselves, about others, about their opportunities, your potential, they still use the same old average or negative or not very hopeful sounding words. So here's the question I want to talk about in terms of freedom. If you knew, and I don't mean intellectually, like if you knew and vibrated to every cell of your body that you could create or have anything you wanted, if you knew that, would you behave differently? And I suspect for nearly every single person, the answer is yes, because you don't know that. You might think it, you might even say it, you might even teach it. But here's what I've discovered, and this is my truth, as it were, but I've seen it play out not only in my life, but over and over again. You literally can have whatever you want. And in fact, you do. You are having what you want. And that's why it's so sad if we create garbage for ourselves by being negative or hopeless or frustrated or resentful instead of being joyful and creative and excited. And this lesson has been long and difficult for me to learn. I just edited an article that's going to be in Fast Company here in a little while. A friend of mine and I were asked, and we wrote an article about personal sovereignty. And it'll be in the Fast Company magazine here in a bit. And it's about the choice that we have to create our lives. And the more we exercise that, the better we get at it, just like anything. The more I practice piano, the better I get. The more I sing, the better I get. The more I write, the more books I write, the better I get. The more I teach, the better I get. And you too. And that means if I practice being grumpy, I get better at it. If I practice being negative, I get better at it. If I practice being loving, I get better at it. If I practice serving, I get better at it. If I practice looking out for others more than myself, I get better at it. One of the statements in my own personal truth document to remind me of this is I am an instrument in divine hands to glorify God, or I work as an instrument in divine hands to glorify God and lift those around me. I have now, finally, after a lot of work, come to the place where that's really all I do. Creating this video, what I'm going to do after this, work on some music, write some more in books. I've got a couple of podcasts to record today. It's only to be grateful for the opportunity we have in this world to create ourselves and to help you, as one of my 300 million, to know that and do something with it. I love you. And that love is hard fought because I used to hate me. And when I hated me, I couldn't really love anybody else very well. And for me, at least, that was a long and complicated struggle. My commitment this year, and the year ends October 14th, is to reach 300 million people with a message, a method, and mastery. The message is part of I'm talking about right now. You have the ability and the tools to create the experience you want in life. The method part is the books and courses and things that I offer. I've got a thing going on pretty quick, dreambuildwriteit.com. Go there, sign up. Doesn't cost any money, does cost some time, but it helps you get a hold of and realize that your life journey is the best and most powerful thing you've got. Where you are right now is perfect. And you have the ability to take where you are and go anywhere you want. Sometimes we feel like we have suffered so much more than our fair share, whatever that means. Well, that is never true. There is a God who created us, who pays attention. My own personal experience has taught me that. A lot of it painful. Anyway, so there's a song I want to share with you, and I'm going to read the lyrics to you, and then in the comments I'll put a link to the Spotify where you can hear it if you want to. And it's just it's an invitation to think about the power that you have to create life, to create joy today, to create business today, to create love today, to be that beacon of light, vessel of love, and conduit of power. And to ask yourself, and this is a question I ask me all the time, am I living at the level of things that I say that I know? Am I living really the best that I can, or am I making excuses? For me, that's a really important question. It reveals a lot and helps me create way better life. And my podcast is called Your Ultimate Life, and I live there now, where I love every day. And getting there has been, it's been a kind of an interesting dance. But my mission and purpose is to help you get to your ultimate life. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. Or whatever words you use. Purpose, prosperity, and joy are the words I use that describe a life. When I get up every day and I feel on fire with purpose, I have unending prosperity and joy, which I have, and I'm married to joy. Yes, that's fun too. I can't even imagine a better life. So here's the song. The song is called Freedom Beyond the Pain. What if love is always the answer? What if happiness is never out of reach? Can you imagine a world of harmony where kindness is all that we seek? What would it take to find the courage to leave cruelty and pain all behind? I know that it may seem out of reach right now, but I can already see it in my mind. There is freedom, freedom beyond the pain. There is always a chance, a choice to love again. If you look inside, you can find forgiveness, till compassion and sweet joy is all that remains. What if we start right here inside of us and see each other through the eyes of love? What if we take the time to truly listen? It's all the same feelings we are made of. I offer you my heart and understanding. Put down the greed and need to take control. I wonder if you and I can start together and share this precious truth with every soul. There is freedom, freedom beyond the pain. There's always a chance, a choice to love again. Lay your weapons and your hatred down now, so compassion and sweet kindness falls on you like rain. Because there is freedom, freedom beyond the pain, there's always a chance, a choice to love again. Lay your weapons and your hatred down now, so compassion and sweet kindness falls on you like rain. So in the comments, I'm going to put the Spotify link to the song, but it's also on Amazon and iTunes and all the rest. And it's one of 90-something songs I have in commercial release. And it is my yearning, because there really is freedom, prosperity. There is infinite money, capability, joy, excitement. And if you don't have that right now, I'd love to talk with you, because you can. Now, it isn't so, at least in my experience, that someone's just going to give it to me. I got to create it. It's like working out. If I want bigger arms, I got to create them. They're not going to create themselves. But it's doable. Grateful to be with you this morning. I'm going to share a lot more songs. Later today, I'm going to put up a version where I sing this. Same song, but I'll put the link to the Spotify in the meantime. You're amazing. You can create anything you want. I know it. I'm here to help if you want that help. We'll see you tomorrow.